Peleș Castle is a neo-Renaissance castle in the Carpathian Mountains, near Sinaia, in Prahova County, Romania, on an existing medieval route linking Transylvania and Wallachia, built between 1873 and 1914. Its inauguration was held in 1883. It was constructed by King Carol I. History. When the King Carol I of Romania, under whose reign the country gained its independence, first visited the site of the future castle in 1866, he fell in love with the magnificent mountain scenery. In 1872, the Crown purchased 1,300 square kilometers of land near the Piatra River. The estate was named the Royal Estate of Sinaia. The king commissioned the construction of a royal hunting preserve and summer retreat on the property, and the foundation was laid for Peleș Castle on the 22nd of August 1873. Several auxiliary buildings were built simultaneously with the castle: the guards' chambers, the economat building, the Foiza hunting lodge, the royal stables, and a power plant. Peleș became the world's first castle fully powered by locally produced electricity. The first three design plans submitted for Peleș were copies of other palaces in Western Europe, and King Carol I rejected them all as lacking originality and being too costly. German architect Johannes Schultz won the project by presenting a more original plan, something that appealed to the king's taste: a grand palatial alpine villa combining different features of classic European styles, mostly following Italian elegance and German aesthetics along Renaissance lines. Works were also led by architect Karel Beneš. Later additions were made between 1893 and 1914 by the Czech architect Karel Lehmann, who designed the towers, including the main central tower, which is 66 meters in height. The Sibot Villa, which served as Lehmann's headquarters during the construction, was built later on. Lehmann would supervise the building of the nearby Peleș Chateau, as well as of King Ferdinand's villa in the Royal Sheepfold Meadow. The cost of the work on the castle undertaken between 1875 and 1914 was estimated to be 16 million Romanian lei in gold. Between 300 and 400 men worked on the construction. Queen Elizabeth of the Romanians, during the construction phase, wrote in her journal, "Italians were masons, Romanians were building terraces, the Gypsies were coolies, Albanians and Greeks worked in stone, Germans and Hungarians were carpenters, Turks were burning brick, engineers were Polish and the stone carvers were Czech. The Frenchmen were drawing, the Englishmen were measuring." And so was then when you could see hundreds of national costumes and 14 languages in which they spoke, sang, cursed and quarreled in all dialects and tones, a joyful mix of men, horses, cart oxen and domestic buffaloes. Construction saw a slight slowdown during the Romanian War of Independence against the Ottoman Empire in 1877–78, but soon afterwards the plans grew in size and construction was quite rapid. Peleș Castle had its official royal ball of inauguration on the 7th of October 1883. King Carol I and Queen Elizabeth lived in Foiza Villa during construction, as did King Ferdinand and Queen Mary during the construction of Peleș Castle. King Carol II was born at the castle in 1893, giving meaning to the phrase "cradle of the dynasty, cradle of the nation" that Carol I bestowed upon Peleș Castle. Carol too lived in Foiza Villa for periods during his reign. After King Michael I's forced abdication in 1947, the communist regime seized all royal property, including the Peleș estate. The castle was opened as a tourist attraction for a short time. It also served as a recreation and resting place for Romanian cultural personalities. The castle was declared a museum in 1953. Nicolae Ceausescu closed the entire estate between 1975 and 1990. During the last years of the communist regime, the area was declared a state protocol interest area, and the only persons permitted on the property were maintenance and military personnel. Ceausescu did not like the castle very much and rarely visited. In the 1980s, some of the timber was infested with the Serpula lacrimans. After the December 1989 revolution, Peleș and Peleș Castle were re-established as heritage sites and open to the public. Today, Peleș Castle serves as a presidential residence. The Economat building and the Guards Chambers building are now hotels and restaurants. Some of the other buildings on the Peleș estate were converted to tourist villas and some are now state protocol buildings. In 2006, the Romanian government announced the restitution of the castle to former monarch Michael I. Negotiations soon began between the former king and the government of Romania, and have not concluded yet. The castle is on lease from the royal family to the Romanian state. Peleș Castle receives between 250,000 and almost 500,000 visitors annually. Throughout its history, the castle hosted some important personalities, from royalty and politicians to artists. One of the most memorable visits was that of Kaiser Franz Joseph I of Austria-Hungary on the 2nd of October 1896, who later wrote in a letter, "The royal castle, amongst other monuments, surrounded by an extremely pretty landscape with gardens built on terraces, all at the edge of dense forests. The castle itself is very impressive through the riches it has accumulated. Old and new canvases, old furniture, weapons, all sort of curios, everything placed with good taste. We took a long hike in the mountains. Afterwards we picnicked on the green grass, surrounded by the gypsy music. We took many pictures, and the atmosphere was extremely pleasant. Artists like George Enescu, Sarah Bernhardt, actor Bo and Vasil Alexandri visited often as guests of Queen Elizabeth of Romania. In more recent times, many foreign dignitaries such as Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Muammar al-Gaddafi, and Yasser Arafat were welcomed at the castle. The castle was featured in the 2009 film The Brothers Bloom. The exterior of the castle is used to represent a large estate in New Jersey, the home of an eccentric billionaire played by Rachel Weisz. Description: by form and function, Peleș is a palace, but it is consistently called a castle. Its architectural style is a romantically inspired blend Neo-Renaissance and Gothic revival similar to Schloss Neuschwanstein in Bavaria. A Saxon influence can be observed in the interior courtyard facades, which have allegorical hand-painted murals and ornate thatchwork similar to that seen in northern European Alpine architecture. Interior decoration is mostly Baroque influenced, with heavy carved woods and exquisite fabrics. Peleș Castle has a 3,200 square meter floor plan with over 170 rooms, many with dedicated themes from world cultures. Themes vary by function or by style. All the rooms are extremely lavishly furnished and decorated to the slightest detail. There are 30 bathrooms. The establishment hosts one of the finest collections of art in Eastern and Central Europe, consisting of statues, paintings, furniture, arms and armor, gold, silver, stained glass, ivory, fine china, tapestries, and rugs. The collection of arms and armor has over 4,000 pieces, divided between Eastern and Western war pieces and ceremonial hunting pieces, spreading over 4 centuries of history. Oriental rugs come from many sources: Bukhara, Mosul, Isparta, Saruk, and Smyrna. The porcelain is from Chevreuse and Meissen. The leather is from Cordoba. Perhaps the most acclaimed items are the hand-painted stained glass vitralios, which are mostly Swiss. A towering statue of King Carol I by Raffaello Romanelli overlooks the main entrance. Many other statues are present on the 7 Italian Neo-Renaissance Renaissance terrace gardens, mostly of Carrara marble executed by the Italian sculptor Romanelli. The gardens also host fountains, urns, stairways, guarding lions, marble paths, and other decorative pieces. Peleș Castle shelters a painting collection of almost 2,000 pieces. Angelo de Gubernatis was an Italian writer who arrived in 1898 in Sinaia as a guest of the royal family. Inaugurated in 1883, Peleș Castle is not only a pleasant place during summertime, it has been conceived to be also a national monument, meant to keep the trophies of the Plevna victory, which explains the simple but majestic style. The castle's courtyard, Romantic type, with a fountain in the middle, in the most accurate Renaissance style, pleasantly surprises the visitor. The courtyard has a merry decoration, made out of plants and flowers. All round the building's facades are animated by elegant drawings. The interior of the castle is a true wonder, due to the beauty and richness of the sculpted wood and the stained glass windows. As you get in the vestibule, you are on the honor staircase, in front of the most important rulers of old Romania, Holy Stephen the Great and Michael the Brave, in a proud attitude, wearing whether a fur capa with a gold crown on the heads. They impress through the brilliant dressing, in which the white of ermine blends with the emerald green of the red of the large mantle. On the right and on left side of the two rulers, as servant knights or four-shield-bearers, carry the Romanian provinces' escutcheons. Inside the Queen's library, over the groups of children symbolizing poetry and science, there is the image of Ulfil as a Goth religious ruler, for the northern side of Danube River, translating the Bible in the language and bringing his contribution in spreading Christianity, a Christian apostle of the Romans, and the image of Dante Alighieri, the creator of Western poetry. Passing the library and getting into the dormitory, we will meet the image of genies and allegories of painting and music, as well as a series of legendary themes. Inside the apartments reserved for the honor guests, a number of coat of arms were shining through the heraldic abundance, speaking about the ancestors of the royal family. But among all, the glass paintings from the Peleș Castle are, beyond any doubt, the most profound and shining. Here, the subjects are taken out of Alexandria's poetry museum. Visits are done within guided tour. One of the tours is limited to the ground floor, another adds the first floor, and the complete tour includes the second floor. Admission is charged, and there is an additional photography fee. The visiting hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. On Tuesdays the hours are 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The castle is closed on Mondays. These visiting hours are subject to change by the Romanian Culture Ministry. The castle is closed in November each year for maintenance and cleaning. The most notable grand rooms are: Old Ronoa was finished completely only in 1911, under the guidance of Carol Lehman. It spreads over 3 floors. Walls are dressed in exquisitely carved woodwork, mostly European walnut and exotic timbers. Bas-reliefs, alabaster sculptures, and retractable stained glass panels complete the decor. Apartmental Imperial is believed to be a tribute to the Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph I, who visited the palace as a friend of the Romanian royal family. Hence, decorator August Bembe preferred the sumptuous Austrian Baroque in style of Empress Maria Theresa. A perfectly preserved 500-year-old Cordoban tooled leather wall cover is the rarest of such quality. Salameda Army is where 1,600 of the 4,000 pieces of weaponry and armor reside. One of Europe's finest collection of hunting and war implements, timelined between 14th and 19th century, are on display. The king added pieces used in his victory against the Ottoman Turks during the War of Independence, famous of the complete Maximilian armor for horse and rider and a 15th-century German noble's only decapitation broadsword. Also in display are a wide array of polearms, firearms, axes, crossbows, and swords. Sala Mikada army is where predominantly Oriental arms and armor pieces are on exhibit, many of them made of gold and silver, and inlaid with precious stones. Included a chainmail armor, helmets, scimitars, jatahins, daggers, matchlocks, lances, pistols, shields, axes, and spears. Sala de Tertru is decorated in Louis XIV style, with 60 seats and a royal box. Architectural decoration and mural paintings are signed by Gustave Klimt and Franz Match. Sala Florentina combines revived elements of the Italian Renaissance, mostly from Florence. Most impressive are the solid bronze doors executed in Rome, ateliers of Luigi Magni, and the grand marble fireplace executed by Paunazio with Michelangelo motifs. Salon Ulmor was executed under the guidance of Charles Lecomte de Noailles, and is meant to embody elements of North African and Hispanic Moorish style. Mother of pearl inlaid furniture, fine Persian Saruk and Ottoman Isparta rugs, and Oriental weapons and armor are perhaps the most expressive elements. The salon has an indoor marble fountain. Salon Ulturses emulates an Ottoman joie de vivre atmosphere, a room full of Turkish Izmir rugs and copperware from Anatolia and Persia. It was used as a smoking room for gentlemen. Walls are covered in handmade textiles like silk brocades from the Seegut shops of Vienna. It is remarkable that unlike other royal families, the monarchs shared a bedroom. Location: the complex is northwest of the town of Sinaia, which is 60 kilometers from Brasov and 135 kilometers from Bucharest. Nestled in the southeastern Carpathian Mountains, the complex is composed of 3 monuments: Peleș Castle, Peleș Chateau, and Foiza Hunting Lodge.